Then I'd say 99, I saw it drift in. I call it the rift, the drift, the reversal. The rift, I think, is the most damaging, cruel, and inhumane thing that's ever happened to dogs. This rift that was created between us and them. Going through my email messages and lists, because I was really actively involved in the list then, trying to stop this thing happening, I put it down to just 3 dog trainers. That's all, that caused this massive rift by being so rude to other dog trainers that use different methods. They took a moral high ground and said, we're doing it right and you're doing it wrong. And from there, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. To now, I mean, people sometimes tell me about some on the list. I say, just don't tell me. I'm not on the list for a reason. You know, I don't want to hear that stuff. I want to hear profitable discussion. Here is the question, and here are 10 answers, which are pretty good. I've never minded anyone not knowing the answer to a question. You know, never mind anyone doing it wrong. Jesus, I've done loads of things wrong in my life. The question is, what are you doing now? What did you learn? However, having said that, a dog trainer should know certain things before they call themselves a dog trainer. The drift, ironically, clicker training started this. We had an interesting education going on with learning theory, and we were getting a really practical side of learning theory. I used to call it learning theory in practice, because, of course, much of learning theory doesn't apply to practice. Most learning theory is generated by computers on rats and pigeons, and a computer is consistent. That's a big difference from a person training a dog, whether the person is a hotshot trainer, because you're not consistent 100% of the time, or a handler, a novice. They are not consistent. They are not consistent. And this is where a lot of learning theory falls down in practice. The drift, interesting, the clicker training, it quickly became almost like a religion that I and many others had been trying to teach learning theory for years. Now, I first admit, here I am in my own hometown, and no, I'm not actually, I'm not in Berkeley now, but if you go to Berkeley and you talk about Ian and learning theory, all the professors there smile, because I saw it differently, because I wasn't a psychologist when I was in the psychology department. And I always thought of, yeah, but when training a cow, or when training a dog, or when training a husband or a child, I thought, that's not going to work. No one's going to do 100 trials, and no one's that consistent. So I had a different bent on it even back then. But the upside of clicker training, wow, all of a sudden everybody learned learning theory. And I shook my head. I thought, I've been trying to do this for years. I've traveled to Winnemucca. I've been to Edmonton. I've been to, I can't explain to the pieces, Moberly, Missouri. Do you even know where that is? It's the worst idea of my life. I thought, shall I do a lecture in Kansas City or St. Louis? I thought, I know. I'll do it in between. Whoa, 11 people came for 4 days. One of the most boring workshops I've ever given.